Back on the prosody. Studio's a lot further than I remember. Oh my god. We're getting there. I know what you're thinking. What a steed. Correct. Got one of my students to pimp it up. Dollar signs on the on the tyre bits. She's a bit rusty. She stays outside. I've got the world famous Cocoa Pop reflector. If you remember them from your childhood. Nice little stand. I'm exhausted. Not used to it. On my push bike in my garage, on my static one, was a bit different on the road, isn't it? It's got me here, that's all that matters. Nice, I've had to get some cycling shorts off Amazon. Don't know how you lads do it, or ladies, regular. Lads in particular. Rubbish, not very good. And I'm here at the venue. Just text the guys to see if they're here. I don't think they're here yet. Not sure whether we're inside or outside. The weather's been dreadful today. But there's a big marquee thing out here, so I'm not sure if we're outside or inside. I'll see when the guys get here. Listening to 1984 on the way here. You know, it's one of them classic books that I've never read before. So I thought I'll get that on audiobook. Right before the general election, makes you think, doesn't it? Yeah. And Robert Jenrick's been going off on one on social media recently, so that's even funnier. Politics, not getting into it. So it's a pub, I think, this venue, this wedding venue. It looks nice, it looks big. It's got like a whole outside area. Oh, just in the pizza wagon, I think. Lovely. Just want to talk a little bit about this week. This week I have had an absolute mare. The car failed its MOT on Monday, and then I had to sort all that out. Sorry, I just got a message saying that Dan's here as well. Yeah, so car failed its MOT on Monday. Very stressful. Back on the push bike to the garage. It needed 2 new tyres and some welding doing. This car is very old, and I've realised that I'm doing 30,000 miles a year in this old beast, and it's just hit 220,000 miles, if you can believe that. So Monday failed its MOT. Obviously nightmare scenario, as all of you know, especially for somebody like me that drives as much as I do. Absolute nightmare situation. So luckily Wednesday I had the day off, so I managed to get the tyres sorted then, got it back into the garage. I had to use Diane's car on Tuesday. The little Punto has saved the day yet again, as it often does with this car. Whenever this car goes wrong, I jump in her little Punto. That's the only reason we keep it, really. And Thursday, mechanic managed to do the little bit of welding that it needed doing, and he sent it for the retest. And because I've had a lot of work done on it recently, only charged me 100 quid. So it's cost me 78 quid per tyre. So what's that? 71.40, 56, 156 quid in tyres and £100 in welding. So I think for 256 quid to keep her on the road, my beautiful Emma, I think I'm happy with that. I think that's okay. And yeah, I mean, in the future, I'm going to have to start looking for another one. But I really want to get it to 250,000 miles at the least. And hopefully many more. I'd love it if this car just kept going forever. I do really like it. It's perfect for me. So, yeah, really happy with that, actually. All things considered. Especially since the bulk of the money was on tyres, which it obviously needs tyres anyway. It's part of the parcel. Now I just need to renew the insurance, which is going to be a right laugh, innit, in the current climate. Can't wait for that. Yeah, bit of motoring problems, a bit of life problems. So it just meant that we couldn't really do that much. We can't go too far in Diane's car. Whoa, what's happening with this rain? It's hailing. What? Oh God, it's full-blown hail. Brutal. I hope we're not in the marquee then. I bet we're not. I bet we're not. Let me show you the marquee I'm on about. What is up with this weather? It stopped hailing now, so you can't see it. I should have done it sooner. Brutal. Good as said. Pizza, chips, and proper nice barbecue sauce. This is proper gig food. 8 out of 10.
Oof, good mark.
Solid, isn't it?
Yeah, man. It's all right, this.
And good stuff on the pizza as well. This one's caramelised onion and margarita. Had a pepperoni. No artichoke this time, is the Benny?
None of that, just standard pizza.
Cracking. What's your review, Dan, out of 10? On the food, not the gig. We don't talk about the gig.
Can you give it an 8?
8? That's what I give it.
Yeah.
What are you saying,
Yes.
Danny? Same?
Solid 8, mate. I
Solid 8
might
out of
even
10.
give it 8.5.
Whoa! 8 out of 10 from me, this.
Chips. There you go.
Yeah, we got just in time for the chips. Just as they came out, we ran. Well, I say ran. Walked
We
steadily.
descended on them like vultures.
Lovely. He's only gone back again. Double bubble.
Round 2, ding ding. Or is it 3? Can't remember.
I think it might be 3. I think it might be 3. Only small though. Right, so as far Bluetooth's connected. As far as post gig hauls go, this has got to be up there. Ignore the banana, that's mine. 2 bits of pick and mix, 2 bags of Space Raiders, 3 massive bags of cake, and I've been really good this week. Been sticking to a diet and I feel really good for it. My shirt fit a lot better, so I'm going to try and lose some weight and give some of this cake to Diane. Whoop whoop! What a haul! I am home, and it's before 11. Just turned 11 now. Oh, brilliant. Gig was awesome tonight. Food was amazing. People looked after us really, really well. A couple of technical glitches, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow. I haven't got my first student until 9 tomorrow, and I'm going to get in early to have a practice. So I'll chat properly about it all then. I'm going to go and have a little beer, I think. I'll go and sit in the kitchen and have a beer. Unbelievable. I never drink. I've got one in the fridge and I just fancy it now. So that's what I'm gonna do. Have a little, I'm gonna do whatever a musician does. A bit of rock and roll, mate. A little bottle of beer. Unbelievable. See you in the morning. Good morning. Another Sunday morning recap. We're back. Another end of a week. They go quick, don't they? It feels like seconds ago that I was last talking into this camera on a Sunday, talking about the gig and stuff. So let's talk about last night. Last night, amazing, amazing, amazing. Each week I can never remember what I've already said, so I'm just going to say everything. So you'll have to hear it again. The people there were absolutely lovely. They looked after us really, really well. Loads of food, drinks, you know, just really welcoming and excited to have us there, which is really nice at these wedding gigs. I think I'm appreciating it more after having had a bad experience a couple of weeks ago. I think everything is now, you know, stuff that you take for granted is now all of a sudden really, 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 you're really thankful for. You know, you really enjoy it when the hosts are really courteous and look after the band. It's really nice. So really well looked after by the amazing people. Everyone was up for it. They're having a great time. We were having a great time. The only thing I'd say that happened that I need to talk about is we did have some technical issues which we've never had before. And this band, all the tracks run backing tracks in the background and it's all to click. I'm telling you this just as a bit of a lesson for any of you that do these kind of gigs. A lot of the times, you know, if you play to click and there's cues in the clicks, that means, if some of you have never done that before, basically in your ear you've got a metronome all night telling you the tempo of the song, which is great as a drummer. And then sometimes they'll give you cues as well. So this one doesn't have lots of cues, but because he's putting a new band out, he's that busy that he's got 2 bands going out now. He has put some vocal cues in there just to make sure that everything's happening correctly, make sure that the singer comes in at the right time, because it's really, really difficult to learn that many songs in a short space of time. And if you're slightly out with the click, it means that the whole band's out with the backing track, which sounds rubbish, and then you have to stop the click and carry on. So like the sound drops from all this stuff that's on track to suddenly having nothing. But last night, the click track just in my ears wasn't working. It worked in sound check beautifully. I was like, yes, this is the best level I've had in ages. This is amazing. Tonight is going to be very easy. Started the first song and the click was in for 1 bar. It went ding, 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 and then nothing. I just had the track. So the first song was fine because the track runs all the way through, so I could kind of keep in time with it. You know, I've got a pretty decent time, if I say so myself. I could keep going and no one would have noticed. But some of the tracks, it would have meant that the other 2 guys were on click and I wasn't. And obviously, even when you're playing to click, the drummer still makes sure that everyone's in time, really. So it was just impossible to play with click. And because we'd already started, the set's quite fast paced and everyone was up dancing, so you can't just stop and try and sort out a faulty cable or whatever. You just got to keep going. So we had to play the whole first set without click, which for this band is crazy because that never happens. Now the lesson here is make sure you learn the stuff, because I don't have charts with this band. I just know all the songs. It's typical function stuff. I've done loads of these gigs, so it's not too difficult. But if I'd have just relied on the click, which I could do, and a lot of drummers do, a lot of musicians do, we'd have had an absolute mare. And luckily the 2 other musicians in the band are really good and really versatile and they know the songs really well. So we all played it perfectly. It just meant that we didn't have the extra added backing tracks running in the background. The backing tracks aren't crazy in this band. There's just like loads of percussion, the odd synth, bit of brass sometimes, stuff like that. Just fills out the sound. But luckily we managed to get round it and finished it. And then in the interval we tried to fix it. We changed the cables up, everything. Tried it again, great, it's working. It worked for ages. I tested it for ages. Second set starts, press the click, add 4 beats of click, ding, 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 ding. And then I heard like a psh, and then no click again. Oh my God. So the second set's a bit more loosey-goosey, so it didn't matter as much. But again, no click. So if I hadn't have learned the whole set perfectly, we'd have all got the wrong tempos. Like, I had to know all the tempos because I had to count the guys in then to make sure the endings were still really, really tight. We had to still sound like a really well rehearsed band, even though the majority of the time we do play to click. And I think for me it's a bit easier than, like, Benny on bass, he always plays in this band. So for him, he's so used to them clicks, but he did amazing as well. And Daniel, the guitar player and singer, did absolutely amazingly. Luckily, both incredible musicians, or else would have really struggled. But the audience didn't notice. No one noticed. Everyone was up dancing all night, had a great time. And it's just one of them weird. It's one of them weird things where the three of you are sort of internally thinking about it and knowing about it and understanding what's happening, but no one in the audience does. So that's the lesson. Even if you're a dep, which I am in this band, sort of. I mean, I play a lot of gigs for them now, so sort of half dep, half not. Make sure you learn your stuff. Make sure you know it really well, because things like this can definitely happen. It doesn't happen very regularly, it doesn't happen often. This is the first time I've ever known it. But when it does, make sure you're prepared. Yeah, stay prepared. Really important.